Good morning, everyone. I came across something. Okay, this has been going on for a long time. And, anyway. And it's about betrayal. And we read in the last part of the Chronicles in 12 on how David was kind of checking out some that had deserted from Saul's side to his side to see if they were kind of, okay, can they be trusted? Are they going to betray me? And he tells them, well, if you really, and we can be friends, but if you betray me because I'm innocent, and I'm going, I kept thinking about that. I'm going, wait a minute. You have nothing to worry. If you have set up things properly around you, you won't have to worry about no betrayal. Yeah, see? You can only be betrayed, feel betrayed, or even call someone a betrayer if things around you are set up for betrayal, okay? Which most of it has to always do with our own self. Yes? For example, young people now, it's such a rare thing where a young person has that proper sense within themselves where they say, it doesn't matter if it's a young man or a young woman, that say, no, I'm going to keep myself pure until marriage. I don't need to have all that experience out there that I can full well see isn't doing anyone any good. Broken hearts, betrayal. Okay, well, why is that? If you follow God's guidance, the 10 Commandments, a proper lifestyle, right, where you will succeed in happiness, where you will succeed in building up a proper family and then be able to take care of it with what? Hopefully 2 parents, right? Father and mother, right? Have children by all the same person, get married one time. All right, just saying. Okay. Oh, well, then what? Okay. Talking about the ideal here. All right. Yes, there are special circumstances. One of the spouses passes away earlier than, just saying. Okay. Accident, yes, happens too. Yes. All right. Then again, outside influences. All right. But that's a small percentage that happens to. Special circumstances. But the majority is under what? You set yourself up for betrayal. Yourself. Then one wants to blame someone else out there. Yes? So again, just saying, more often than not, you betray your own self. You betray your origin. You betray on what you actually are in God's creation here on earth. Yourself. You set up yourself for that. Huh? Yes? There. And if it does happen, then look around first, rather than, again, going looking on the outside. Right? What are they doing out there when it comes to betrayal? Look within yourself what you need to change. So, but that betrayal is not going to look anymore in the way that it is portrayed out there. But rather, wow, that's something to restore. And I think I've got to start with myself first. Yes? Not because you're betraying people out there. It's because and how betrayal is affecting you, and how is it possible for that to happen? Cause and effect. Yes? All right. So, if David would have been absolutely 100% guided by God, he would not have to worry about betrayal from these people. He would know on how to show them and what's going on within himself, around him, the people that are loyal to him, his own behavior, this snap, towards that, starts with himself. How does he treat himself? How does he treat his family? His soldiers. Not a good idea to go and kill one of your own, have one of your own soldiers killed in action because you put them where you know that's going to happen, and then take his wife, who's already pregnant with your child. Oh, okay, all right. I'm just saying. You see? There you go. Then, if he'd had all his ducks in a row according to God's guidance, then even if some of these soldiers would have betrayal on their mind, they would change their mind, wouldn't they? And then suddenly they'd be too few to have to worry about. Just saying. All right, started out with a good one. It is going to be almost 70 degrees today. It probably will be. It's at 69, so 1 degree more or less. I'd have a feeling that it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be partly sunny. Later on, it might rain. That's a perfect day around here. So I'll be spending some time in my garden today. Yes, very excited. I've been walking around in it. As I said, suddenly got really going. No. Just checking on things. And, I need to do this, I need to do that. I still have a lot of Jerusalem artichoke, sunchokes, whatever they call it, to dig out. Yes, they are as fresh as can be, nice and juicy, and like a carrot. As I've said this before, it's like between a carrot and a potato to taste. Very delicious. So I dug some of those out. And there is a lot of chives out there, wild chives, they call them wild garlic, wild onions, whatever. I need to cut the tops. They're like green onions. What is it? Yeah, the green onions, where you just take the stalk. They're a lot like that, or other chives, and go really well with so many things, and they're very flavorful. So got to go do that. So yeah, I'm still harvesting. Still harvesting out there. And the cilantro is coming up good. I need to cut that again. Yes, love cilantro. So good in so many things. Yes. All right, so let's get going here. So that's what I'm going to do today. Yep. And I'm going to start digging the hole. I have to do that probably over several days. To make sure that physically I don't collapse with, digging and hammering something in that's, kind of like a stake or what. It shoots right into my back. So I have to be very careful with that. Anywho, so plants. I have a mulberry tree. Needs to be planted. I want to plant it where I want it. I waited for 2 years for someone to help me and say, well, let's find a really good place, right? And there is. I found a really good place. But some people think, and I'm going, you know what? I ain't going to live long enough to see that tree doing any damage to the house. And I don't believe it will, according to what I read up on the roots, and because of the way our house is built. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do what I feel like I'm guided by God where that tree should go. And it'll give some shade once it gets bigger. It's a mulberry tree. It'll give some shade to the back part of the house that gets really hot. It gets very cold in the winter, and very hot in the summer. And that, again, I'm thinking this will be natural barrier of all the windows, right, to make it more comfortable in the summertime in there, for sure. And wintertime, it might actually help insulate a little more, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Just saying. So I think I have found the perfect spot, even though, I'm done waiting. That tree has to be planted. So Yeah, our peach trees are, they're supposed to be dwarf trees, and they're not. I, I don't know what happened, but they're huge. Huge. Yep, growing to the sky. Nice shady spot out there to sit. Though here the bugs are in the summertime, not necessarily during the hottest part of the day, but uh, they're pretty bad. Yeah. Not for me. They don't bug me a whole lot, but everyone else. Weird, right? So, first book of Chronicles, and we're in 13. There. Oh, that brings something else to mind. Okay, all right, maybe later. I'll talk about that later. After David had consulted with all of his army officers, he addressed the assembled men of Israel as follows. Since you think that I should be your king, also he's not sure he should be, and since the Lord our God has given his approval, where? When? Exactly. Let us send messages to our brothers throughout the land of Israel, including the priests and Levites, inviting them to come and join us. And let us bring back the ark of our God. Back. For we have been neglecting it ever since Saul became king. I find it interesting that, okay, but this sounds like to me now, and again, right? Okay, well, that's a good thing. It would be a good thing if there wasn't war involved. If there weren't, okay, you're going to be killing each other. Brothers are going to kill brothers. Fathers are going to kill fathers. Sons are going to kill sons. Sons may even be killing fathers and vice versa in this snap, right? Yes? And conveniently, I'm not sure how that's going to work. The people are already so used to not having God, even at that time. No, we don't really follow the Ten Commandments, especially the one, where thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not want someone else's stuff or something, right? Yes? Oh, now they're throwing out, right? Thou shalt honor father and mother, right? Okay, where's that going to go if you're fighting each other? Okay. And he's conveniently pulling something into it that, how is that going to be favorable to him? What is he doing here, actually, with God? Right? Yes? Well, let's continue on. That's interesting to me. And he's blaming someone else for a condition in their country, right? Saul. He's blaming on Saul now. Well, Saul's not been doing this or that, and I'm planning to do that. Well, we kind of all know what happened later on with all that. Again, what? So again, remember, I'm reading all this. I'm doing all this for the reputation of God. Right? So was David perfect? Obviously not. Was Saul perfect? Obviously not. Was Samuel perfect? Obviously not. Okay. Did they do exactly everything as God instructed them to do? Obviously not. And continuously God is being pulled into what? So God's willing. What David actually here is doing with how he set it up, flattery, right? What is flattery? Calculated manipulation. What he's trying to do here is set a precedence that, yes, God will betray part of his own people. Whoever is not going to follow me, right? Because God's with me, David said. God is with me. And you guys think I should be king. He doesn't say, God told me specifically, I have to be king. I'm going to be king. I need to be king. He's putting it on the Israelites. So if anything goes wrong later on, he's in the clear. Oh, okay, all right. And another thing is that somehow the division that happened, right, in Israel, which then is Israel and Judah, basically either one or the other side uses God to betray, as God's the foundation for betrayal, because God's, in the way that it is presented, is betraying a part of his own people. Does that make sense to anyone? It doesn't make sense to me. But that's how it's being set up here. God's not like that. Sorry? Nope. No. Nope, can't agree with that. There was unanimous, I said it, there was unanimous consent, for everyone agreed with him. So David summoned the people of Israel from all across the nation. As I said, calculated manipulation, it's working. So that they could be present when the ark of God was brought from Kiriath Yearim. Then David and all Israel went to Baalah, Kiriath Yearim. Okay, see, then that confusing. Okay, just name it as you just named it before. In Judah, to bring back the ark of the Lord God enthroned above the angels. What? It was taken from the house of Abinadab on a new cart. Uzzah and Ahio drove the oxen. Oh yeah, it had been stationed at someone else's place, right? Because Saul was afraid of it or something? Okay. I don't know. Is this a good idea to do that? Because I would say, well, we've already talked about that. I ain't going to go there again. Then David and all the people danced before the Lord with great enthusiasm, accompanied by singing and by cithers, harps, tambourines, cymbals, and trumpets. Oh, yeah, and David made a big old spectacle of himself and dressed in what? Okay, yeah. Flattery. What is that? Calculated manipulation. But as they arrived at the threshing floor of Judon, the oxen stumbled, and Uzzah reached out his hand to steady the ark. Then the anger of the Lord blazed out against Uzzah and killed him because he had touched the ark. What was he supposed to do? And so he died there before God. All right. So there again. Okay. David, I didn't have anything to do with that. That must have been God because you touched the ark. Yeah. Rather than, okay, are we doing something wrong here? We need something just happened. We just lost one of our soldiers or people, and we over something like this. I'll say, what are they actually following? Which guidance of God are they actually following, regardless? And here, touching the ark, while the oxen stumbled and looked like, oh, that thing could fall into the river. And here is Uzzah, and he's falls on the top of it, whatever, and dies. And that is, oh, he died because he touched the ark? Okay, are you guys hearing this? I'm just saying. If, I could go for that, if the Israelites would have followed everything to a T, really tried to become God's people under God's guidance. But they didn't. They broke all the 10 Commandments. All of them. Within a short amount of time. All of them. Yet here, just touching the ark angered God. And the death of this person, Uzzah, was because of God. Because he touched the ark. Not, okay, what does this mean? What just happened here? Surely God would guide these oxen and the cart with the Ark of the Covenant and that really carefully if we would be doing the right thing. Oh, so the death of that because they weren't doing the right thing? Just saying. What's going on here? How is God again being used? Right? For what? A simple accident? And rather than, well, here we go, having to move this ark, there was a sacrifice. He sacrificed his life to stabilize the ark. So he should be what? A hero, right? Died a hero. Weird one. Anyway, look at David was angry at the Lord for what he had done to Uzzah, and he named the place the outbreak against Uzzah, and it is still called that today. That's a great beginning to work together with God. I told you he was using God. Right? David gets angry at God for killing one of his soldiers. I'm sorry, yes, I said. Now David was afraid of God, and asked, how shall I ever get the ark of God home? Finally, he decided to take it to the home of Obed-Edom. Oh, some other guy. Oh, that's what happened there too. The Gittite, instead of bringing it to the city of David. The ark remained there with the family of Obed-Edom for 3 months, and the Lord blessed him and his family. Oh, are you getting all this? This is why do we have a flip-flop and God going on here? Huh? Yeah? Woohoo? Okay. And David? Why is David afraid? Telling you. David's using God too. Oh, that's the end of 13. Boy, that was a short one. So, that last plot part, right? The ark remained there with the family of Obed-Edom for 3 months, and the Lord blessed him and his family. That's an interesting one. Well, wouldn't God, if he saw on David's side, wouldn't God want to go to the city of David? And hey, they're reviving me. This is cool. And the Ark of the Covenant, the promise I made to them, they're starting to, right? Wouldn't he be happy about, wouldn't God be happy and excited about that? What did they just do beforehand? Sing and dance and, oh yeah, played all them instruments. They were so excited and woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Well, that didn't take long for, we're all scared of it now. And it goes to this other family's home, and the family's being blessed. Sounds to me God didn't want to go with David. For whatever happened, circumstances, David wasn't ready for God. This family was. They weren't afraid to take in the ark. Maybe you had to. Maybe they were forced. Right? I don't know. Close enough. Oh, let's just bring it. Oh, that's the closest house. Let's bring it right there. Right. Done with it. Done. What other mishaps are going to happen with that thing with us? With God guiding them. Them not doing, being able to do their own thing. Kind of would show us that God wasn't for what's going on with Saul or David, or what the people were doing. It's kind of what that tells me. Yes? What I start out with, the betrayal, right? If God were to feel betrayed, or look at what the people are doing at that time as betrayal, then he probably would do as David had done with those soldiers, and he would say, well, as long as you're on my side, we're friends. But if you're not, okay, then, okay. But God's not like that. God's never been like that, has he? Huh? Proof, the New Testament. Proof, the completed Testament. God can't change. He will not coerce anyone into opening up and follow his guidance. We have to make that choice. Yes? And regardless on how we treat each other out there, God's always on our side. God's always just waiting. He's just, to him, it's not betrayal. It's just, well, all you're doing is hurting yourself with all this. And that's so sad. It's so counterproductive to how human beings could live on earth. So in God's eyes, it's not betrayal. That people betray him or this or that. In God's eyes, it's I'd have to say, it's just, well, incompetence. Uneducated. And that is not, it's not going to, that's not going to change in any way on how God is. I am who I am. That's never going to change. Anyway, that's all I have to say today. Done. Yeah. Oh, there was that other thing, and I can't remember it now. So I guess it's not important. I gotta go. I gotta go to the barn. I gotta go to the garden. Going to be home alone for a couple of days. I said that now. I watched. Sometimes I go through the reels on Facebook and then I come across one where they're showing something on how to cook something. You know, some things I use often my Facebook page to save information for later. And there was one thing that I saw for picky eaters, okay? Oh, children are so spoiled these days, right? When it comes, at least in our country they are. As I said, if you can spoil your children with food according to what your children want to eat rather than what there is to eat, and they're hungry and they're going to eat it, okay, then we're all doing just fine. Just like the Israelites were doing just fine. As I say, 3 days of a big old feast with hundreds of thousands of people, and that food was all there from all over. Right? That means they were doing really well. Right? So what? They got bored and they needed what? Some action, extra action. Okay, whatever. So I saw this dad. So they took a whole bunch of foil, which I think is very wasteful. I probably would and I wouldn't want to eat off of aluminum foil. I'd probably just get a tablecloth. You can get them tablecloths. You can even wash them, and or make one myself, right? Yeah, right. Oh, clean the table properly. Why couldn't you eat right off the table, right? And that was for easy cleanup. I'm going, well, only put as much food then, that this all be gone. This is great, right? Then all you do is, what do? Just wipe the table clean. But this father, this guy, there were 3 children, and they looked relatively, maybe 1, 5, 3, and a 1-year-old or something. And he took the noodles. He had pasta, and he just dumped the pasta on the table. That's a lot. Man, these are 3 little kids. How much are going to eat? A little portion like this, And no doubt they had a snack 2 hours before or something, if 2 hours before. And then the mom and dad go, no, that's, wow, what a waste. What are they going to do? Are they going to make sure that the rest of it, they're going to have the next day to eat as leftovers? Well, anyway, I don't know. I didn't say that. So he dumped it all on there, and then he had a big old pot of spaghetti sauce and meatballs. Dumped that on top. Then he put some cheese on top, right? Yes? What else? And then on top of that, okay, that would already, in my opinion, be enough, except where are the vegetables, right? Why not just throw some celery or carrot sticks or something next to it? Kids are not big on cooked vegetables, right? Especially that age. And so to me, picky and preference of taste per se in something, right? That's still good to eat. That's different to me. Well, so I'm looking at this mound of food now on this table, and the kids loved it. Oh yeah, they were eating, man. They were really eating. Going, well, no doubt they like these noodles, and the girl, the oldest one, ooh, meatballs. Well, she would have eaten those meatballs in her plate as well, right? So it didn't say they've never had this before. Obviously they did. All right, then they threw, I don't know what was on top of it, cheese or something as well. It looked like some bagel rounds with cheese on it and toasted, and threw those on the table as well. What for? That wasn't needed with that mound of food. Oh, give them what? So yeah, it looked good. Never all eating off right? Okay. The little girl says, we're eating like savages, right? Oh, okay. What? 5 years old. So eating off the table, not having a plate in front of you, you already know. Who eats like that? Are you sure? Because in some parts of the world, people actually do eat with bread. So they're all savages. Oh, interesting. What is that girl already being taught, or what is she hearing? Okay. Anyway, the idea is not bad. I like the idea. I wouldn't do it like that, though. Okay? And I'm going to try that out while I'm up there this summer with all of my grandchildren, and see how they like that. But as I said, I will do it a little bit differently, and see. Is it really? Are picky eaters picky eaters will eat more if they can eat like what? Okay, it's not a bad idea, but in the way that it was executed, the waste that I saw there, and some other things, let's say, I guess it made for a good video, but is it actually going to make a difference for picky eaters? I don't know. I do know one thing I've noticed with my children, some of them, and when they were growing up and eating, and my kids did not. They ate what there was, and if they weren't hungry, that's just, well, if you're not hungry, don't eat, right? Usually the next meal they were plenty hungry. And the one thing I found with most children I took care of is that, and my oldest granddaughter was very particular about that. It didn't matter if the food touched each other. At least she was not like that, but she liked things separate. She didn't want them mixed up. Okay, even when it came to spaghetti and sauce, she liked the sauce on the side rather on the top. Or you ask her, so how would you like the sauce on the top now? And eventually it was like, yeah. Put it on the top, and the Parmesan on the top, and she was good with that. But she liked things separate. We have to remember that children are still exploring food, right? We forget on how children explore, and they'd like to see, oh, that's that is this, and not like the tastes mixed up like we do. They like the tastes on their plates often better if they're individual, right? Yes, yeah. As far as I know, and I could be wrong again, okay? I could be wrong with some children, but most children that I know, when you take them to the ice cream parlor, they want one flavor, not mixed up flavors, right? Yes? Okay. All right. Well, anyway. So there it is. Yeah. Interesting. And eating off that foil was not, that made my teeth kind of, it's not like when you take chalk and scrape along the, eating off aluminum foil to me would be like that. No. But I like the idea. And I think that, just dumping it on the table like that also, that's not, who does that? I don't know of anybody who does that. So, but a big tray, even a pizza tray, he could have taken a pizza tray and then only put as much on it that he thinks that's actually what my family will eat. The rest of it we'll put away. Right? It was it was not pleasant to watch. Anyway, so, but still, I got an idea that I like to try. Wanted to do anyway. I've had this before, but I'm definitely not going to do it like this. All right, enough talk. I guess not this last part here now. Beware how you educate your children. Yes? Which brings me actually to, so often, I've said this before, we do things that we do not want our children to do. So we tell them they can't. All right. Sometimes there's an age limit to certain things for them to look forward to that then. But otherwise, all right. And but we do it. I find that also odd. So beware. Beware on what your children hear around you, around your family in particular. You can't control everyone out there, right? Back to God has no control here. Right? It's what the people are doing. But within your own self, within your family, you have a lot of say and a lot to teach. A lot of good to teach your children. All right. Well, anyway, that's all I have to share this morning. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to y'all another time.